Hello and welcome back to that Mindless Show where we talk about non-mindless stuff. This is with the director. It's another episode. I'm trying to figure out what episode of the actual Mindless Show we're talking about right now. I have forgotten because I kind of got confused about the order of release because I think we filmed separate episodes on different times. School life, aka howtostudent.mp4. So of course this was again with Kazuma here, aka Pierre. That one for an hour and 12 minutes, Jesus Christ. That introduced Simone, who of course said her name as Simone. I'm like, oh.
Simone.
Simone, yes. And also brought back question mark, aka Harry. And that was, again, another documentary-like episode. By this stage, in my course at uni, I was doing documentaries. I was doing a documentary. It was a shit documentary, in terms of what we were learning in class. And I had learned enough techniques, so I was like, hey, let's do a kind of cross of like a documentary meets that interview show, and have the basis being, it's the Mindless Show. And of course, that whole happens with, it starts off with me in the escalator going up, and then I'm trapped in the elevator. That girl had no idea what the fuck was going on. It was great. She was just like, what? Simone perfectly filming it, running up the stairs and everything. And then we get straight into the first interview, which was with Harry talking about his time in uni so far, and pretty much getting a more detailed look at him. Again, it's more or less a documentary interview talking about high school versus university and what it's kind of like to transition, and also how it affects your real world life and stuff like that. So we had a good interview with Harry, which I was very happy with. Cut that at the end with the weird, surreal-ass scene with me seeing myself down below, because this is at Swinburne University on the campus. And I'm on the bridge, looking down at myself, who's looking up at me in a mask, but it's not me in a mask, it's Harry in a mask, but it's a guy in a mask, and it cuts back down to me looking at myself on the bridge, and I'm just looking to someone, I'm like, cool, let's just move on. And Harry just standing there in the background, not knowing what the hell to do, which was quite nice. And then we had our second interview, which was with you.
Yeah.
You were the second interview. Actually, I can't remember if we had ours. I'll talk about the Shira part first. So this was with Shira, aka Sahara Desert, who hadn't been in the show since the second season, and actually goes to university there. She does she does a study at the second half of the university. So I had to go all the way there, and I was like, hey, do you mind if we share a scene with you? Because I already had her coming into a few episodes later on. She's like, yeah, sure. And so we filmed a very, very awkward to shoot scene. Very quiet manner with no microphones or anything except for the camera mic. Wasn't great, I don't think. I think the end result was like, it's so purposefully awkward that like accidentally and purposely at the same time, it's just weird. But I like it. It turned out well. It's like, oh yeah, I totally remember you, Shira played along quite well with that. So that was a setup for a later episode. Then Simone and I did the interview with Pierre, where of course Simone was camera woman again. She did the camera work pretty much the whole episode. She did all the camera work except for the interview with me and herself, of course, because Pierre did the camera work for that. And that was much more interesting to shoot. If I had have known that this camera had a different setting that you could actually get a better color scale out of it, then we wouldn't have had a very white version of me or very pale version of me and Pierre and Harry as well. So I would have had more color to the video, which is a little disappointing, but I learned how to fix that later, especially because in post I added some color to it, so it doesn't look fantastic in terms of color, but it's there, whatever. It's not really the color or the image that's important. But it was interesting to walk around that garden and to do this interview, and to make sure that we had to watch out that Simone wouldn't fall into a hole or anything, which was fun. And that interview was fun. It was very good. Then we just went straight to the interview with Simone, and yeah, that was again just introducing her character. She hadn't been in the show before at all. I mean, she only ended up showing up like a few episodes later for like the last 2 episodes of the Mindless Show anyway. But it was all for this idea of interviewing her and getting her thoughts and all that kind of stuff, and that was a very interesting discussion. And ending it with me with my fisherman beanie, I guess. Yeah, and the band footage just been of trees and stuff. I had no real inspiration for that except for, yeah, it's just a documentary / that interview, like I said before. Nothing else really went into the episode. It was pretty easy to edit, and it was quite fun to do overall. Shot over 2 weeks, actually. It was 2 different Thursdays. The first one with Harry, the second one with Simone and Pierre. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Pierre?
Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't pay him to say that. Yeah, so thanks for watching this episode of With the Director. See you next time.